Admiral Dorn stood on the command deck of the massive ship, looking at the blue planet on the main screen. His gray skin glowed in the dim light as his four eyes narrowed. Earth was just another dot on the map of the Great Vex Empire. The galactic hegemony had taken over 300 planets already. This would be no different. Admiral, our scans show primitive technology. They have only reached their moon. No real space defense, said Officer Tull, tapping on his screen. Dorn nodded. Class 3 world. Easy conquest. Begin standard attack plan. Across Earth, few people knew what was coming. In a small radar station in Alaska, Jack Anderson saw something strange on his screen. Dots that should not be there. Movement that did not match any known satellites or planes. This can't be right, he said, reaching for his phone. His hand shook as he dialed. Sir, I'm seeing objects entering Earth orbit. Too big for satellites. Too fast for anything we have. In an underground base, Lisa Wells got the call. As head of the Global Defense Initiative, she had prepared for this day, even when others laughed. She pressed the red button on her desk. This is not a drill. Activate Protocol Omega, she said, her voice calm despite her racing heart. We have visitors. Across the world, hidden bases came to life. Scientists rushed to secret labs. Soldiers moved to positions no one knew existed. High above, Admiral Dorn watched as the first wave of ships moved toward Earth. Sir, we detect some primitive spacecraft attempting to intercept, said Tull, almost laughing. Destroy them. Show Earth our power, ordered Dorn. The Vex ships fired brilliant beams of light. Earth's small defense ships exploded like fireworks. News channels around the world showed the explosions. People screamed in the streets. Some ran. Some prayed. Some just stood and watched the sky. Professor Alan Reed watched from his lab window. Behind him, a machine hummed with power. They're here sooner than we expected, he said to his team. Is the shield ready? Yes, but we don't know if it will work, said his assistant. Reed smiled. Well, we're about to find out. In orbit, Admiral Dorn prepared the next phase. Begin planetary bombardment. Target their military bases and government centers. Yes, Admiral. Weapons charged. Firing in 3, 2, 1. Brilliant lights shot from the Vex fleet toward Earth. Dorn watched with satisfaction. Then his satisfaction turned to confusion. What is happening? He demanded. The beams hit something invisible above Earth. They spread out, weakened. Some got through, causing explosions below. But many did not. Sir, they have some kind of shield technology. Our intelligence said this was impossible for them, said Tull, his voice shaking. On Earth, Commander Kate Porter watched from a mountain bunker as the alien weapons hit the shield. Reed's crazy invention worked, she said to her soldiers. Now it's our turn. They think we're easy prey. Let's show them how wrong they are. Across the world, hidden weapons pointed to the sky. Military units no one knew existed moved into position. Engineers like Mark Wilson worked frantically on captured alien technology that had crashed in earlier scouting missions. Admiral Dorn frowned at the unexpected resistance. Send in the ground forces. Full invasion. I want this planet under control by the end of their day cycle. Little did he know that the easy conquest he had promised his superiors would become the greatest challenge the hegemony had ever faced. As Vex dropships entered Earth's atmosphere, humans prepared to fight with a determination the aliens had never encountered before. The conquest of Earth had begun, but it would not go as planned. The Vex dropships landed in major cities around the world. Tall alien soldiers in shiny armor marched out, weapons ready. They expected humans to run and hide. They were wrong. In New York, Commander Kate Porter watched from a hidden bunker as the aliens landed in Central Park. She spoke into her radio. Let them get comfortable, then hit them hard. Admiral Dorn received the first reports from Earth with a frown. What do you mean, heavy resistance? These are primitives. Sir, Officer Tull said nervously, Our first wave in the human city called London has lost contact. The same in Beijing and Moscow. Dorn slammed his fist on the control panel. Impossible. Send more troops. On the ground, the Vex soldiers found themselves attacked from all sides. Humans used buildings, sewers, and subway tunnels to strike and disappear. The aliens' advanced weapons were powerful but slow. The humans were quick and knew their cities well. In his workshop, Mark Wilson studied a broken piece of Vex technology. The engineer had found it in a crashed scout ship months ago. Now he understood how it worked. Their communication system has a flaw, he told Lisa Wells over a secure line. They use a single frequency for all messages. If we can jam it. Lisa nodded. Do it. I'll tell all resistance groups. Meanwhile, Professor Reed worked day and night to improve his shield technology. The shield won't hold forever, he told his team. We need to find a way to fight back from space. The Vex tried new tactics. They released biological weapons designed to make humans sick. But Earth bacteria and viruses fought back. The alien diseases couldn't spread in Earth's environment. Admiral Dorn could not believe the reports. How can they resist our bioweapons? How can they jam our communications? This was supposed to be easy. Sir, said Tull, perhaps our intelligence on Earth was not complete. Dorn knew he had to report this failure to the Hegemony Council. No planet had ever resisted this long. Not in 200 years of Vex conquests. On Earth, humans began to work together like never before. Old enemies became allies against the new threat. Scientists shared secrets. Soldiers from different countries fought side by side. Jack Anderson discovered that the radar station could track Vex ships if set to a special frequency. We can see them coming now, he told Commander Porter. No more surprises. The Vex tried to use their strongest weapons from orbit, but Professor Reed's shields, now set up around major cities, blocked most of the damage. What got through, humans quickly repaired. In a daring raid, Commander Porter's team captured a small Vex ship. The aliens inside fought hard, but were surprised by human strength and determination. Take everything apart, Lisa ordered when the ship was brought to a secret base. Learn how it works. We need their technology. 6 weeks after the invasion began, humans launched their first counterattack. Using the captured ship's weapons, they destroyed a Vex ground base in the desert. Admiral Dorn received the news with shock. They used our own weapons against us. He looked at the blue planet on his screen. For the first time, he felt something new. Doubt. In his private quarters, Dorn recorded a message to the Hegemony Council. The conquest of Earth is facing unexpected challenges. Request additional forces and new strategy. He paused, then added, These humans are not like the others we have conquered. As Dorn sent his message, humans around the world prepared for the next phase of the war. This was only the beginning. 6 months had passed since the Vex invasion began. What was planned as a quick conquest had turned into a long, difficult war. Humans had not only survived but grown stronger. Lisa Wells stood in the new Global Defense Headquarters, deep under the Rocky Mountains. Around her, people from every nation worked together. Screens showed battles around the world. Admiral Dorn has received reinforcements, Jack Anderson reported, looking up from his radar station. 5 new battle cruisers just entered Earth orbit. Lisa nodded calmly. They still don't understand what they're fighting. In his laboratory, Dr. Tom Rivers had made an important discovery. For months, he had studied captured Vex computers. Now he held up a small device. It's ready, he told his team. A computer virus that can infect their systems. They've never needed cybersecurity because no one ever fought back before. Meanwhile, Commander Porter led a daring raid on a Vex base in what was once downtown Chicago. Her soldiers moved quietly through ruined buildings. They wore special armor made from captured Vex materials, but designed for human bodies. They're still using the same patrol patterns, Porter whispered to her team. They never adapt. That's their weakness. When the attack came, The Vex were completely surprised. Humans struck from all directions, using weapons that combined Earth and Vex technology. Within an hour, the base was captured. A soldier found something interesting on a dead Vex officer, a strange metal that seemed to burn the alien's skin. In her lab, Lisa studied the metal. "It's just copper," she said with surprise. "Something in their biology reacts badly to common Earth metals." This discovery led to new weapons. Bullets with copper tips caused terrible damage to Vex soldiers. The aliens had no defense against this simple Earth material. On his flagship, Admiral Dorn faced tough questions from his superiors through hologram communication. "The Hegemony Council demands answers," said High Commander Vox, his image flickering. "No primitive species has ever resisted this long." "How are they doing this?" "They are resourceful," Dorn admitted, "and they learn quickly. They've already adapted some of our technology." "Unacceptable," shouted Vox. "Either complete this conquest soon, or you will be replaced." As the call ended, Dorn looked at Earth through his viewport. Something about these humans bothered him. They didn't act like any species the Vex had conquered before. On Earth, the tide was turning. Jack Anderson had created a network of communication hubs that the Vex couldn't detect or track. Humans could now coordinate attacks across the globe. Mark Wilson and his engineering team had reverse-engineered Vex engines. The first human-made ship with alien technology was nearly complete, hidden in an underwater base. Dr. Rivers prepared to launch his computer virus. Once this enters their network, it will spread to every Vex ship connected to their main computer, he explained to Lisa. "It won't destroy them, but it will blind their sensors for a few hours." "That's all we need," Lisa replied. She turned to Commander Porter. "Is the strike team ready?" Porter nodded, ready and waiting for the signal. The next day, as the virus hit the Vex fleet, Porter's team launched Earth's first attack in space. Using modified Vex ships, they destroyed a key orbital platform that controlled the aliens' bombardment of Earth. It was humanity's first major victory in space. When Admiral Dorn saw the platform explode, he finally understood the truth. This wasn't just resistance. This was the beginning of a counterattack. And for the first time in Vex history, they were facing an enemy who might actually defeat them. A year had passed since the invasion began. The war had changed in ways no one could have imagined. Humanity was no longer just defending Earth. They were reaching for the stars. "The Defiance is ready," Mark Wilson announced with pride. He stood inside the massive hangar where Earth's first true starship waited. Built with a combination of human ingenuity and Vex technology, it looked like nothing ever seen before. Lisa Wells walked around the ship, touching its smooth hull. "How far can it go?" "Anywhere the Vex can go," Mark replied. "Maybe further. We made some improvements to their engine design." Meanwhile, Dr. Rivers' computer virus had spread through the Hegemony's command network. Vex ships throughout the solar system experienced failing systems and scrambled communications. In the Hegemony Council chamber, far across the galaxy, angry voices filled the room. "Admiral Dorn has failed completely," shouted one council member. "A full year, and Earth still fights." High Commander Vox stood up. "I have recalled Dorn. Admiral Krex will take command. He will show no mercy." But the Hegemony had a bigger problem than they knew. Their propaganda could no longer hide the truth. News of Earth's resistance had spread to other conquered worlds. Hope was awakening in places where hope had died long ago. The Defiance launched in secret, slipping past the Vex blockade while their systems were confused by the virus. Commander Porter led the mission, with a crew of Earth's best pilots and scientists. "Set course for the Proxima system," Porter ordered. "According to Vex data, there's a slave planet there, a species called the Xor." The Defiance traveled faster than any human ship before. Within days, they reached Proxima. There, orbiting the third planet, they found Vex control ships. "They have the same weakness as the ones at Earth," said Porter's second-in-command. "Should we attack?" Porter shook her head. "We're not here to fight. We're here to make friends. On Earth, Jack Anderson detected a message coming through his network. It wasn't from any Earth station. Lisa, you need to see this. It's from Porter. Lisa rushed to the communication center. The message was short but changed everything. Made contact with the XOR. They want to join us, bringing their representatives to Earth. Vex don't know yet. Admiral Krex arrived at Earth with his flagship, the largest ever sent by the hegemony. His first action was to order the complete destruction of 3 major cities as punishment. But when his ships fired, no weapons reached Earth. Professor Reed's shields, now covering the entire planet, held firm. Krex raged at his officers. How is this possible? They're just humans. Sir, said his second-in-command nervously, we're detecting something strange. Ships are leaving Earth's atmosphere. Many ships. In the depths of space, the Defiance returned, leading a fleet of newly built Earth vessels and accompanied by ships of alien design. The XOR had sent their own fighters. This is Commander Kate Porter of Earth, her message broadcast to all Vex ships. You came to conquer us. You failed. Now we're taking the fight to you. The battle above Earth turned quickly. The Vex, expecting to face primitive resistance, found themselves outmaneuvered by human pilots using improved versions of their own technology. Admiral Krex watched in disbelief as his ships were damaged or destroyed. Retreat, he finally ordered. Retreat and regroup. As the Vex fleet pulled back, a cheer went up in the Global Defense Headquarters. But Lisa knew this was just the beginning. They'll be back with more ships, she said to her team. But now we know we can beat them. And now we have allies. The war for Earth was over. The war for the galaxy had just begun. 2 years after the first Vex ships appeared in Earth's sky, the galaxy was changing. What began as one planet's fight for survival had grown into something much bigger. Lisa Wells stood in the great meeting hall, looking at the faces around her. Some were human. Others were very different. The 4-armed XOR, the tall and thin Balerians, the small but fierce Nox, and others. 7 species in all, each once conquered by the Vex hegemony, now free. The Alliance of Free Worlds, Lisa said, her voice carried by translators to all. Together, we fight not just for our own freedom, but for all who suffer under Vex rule. Far away, in the hegemony capital, the Council faced a crisis unlike any in their 1,000-year history. 3 more worlds have broken free, one member reported, his voice shaking. Our forces are stretched too thin. High Commander Vox slammed his fist down. This is Admiral Krex's failure. He allowed the humans to spread their rebellion. On the edge of hegemony space, Jack Anderson's new communication system let Alliance ships talk without the Vex listening in. Based on Earth's old radio technology, but enhanced with alien science, it spread messages of hope to conquered worlds. Planet Dorek is responding, a communications officer told Commander Porter on the bridge of the Defiance. They want to join the Alliance. They've already begun fighting the Vex forces there. Porter nodded. Tell them help is coming. Dr. Rivers and his team had created weapons that targeted Vex weaknesses. Using the copper discovery, they made missiles that released copper dust into Vex ship ventilation systems. The metal caused Vex crew members to become sick and unable to fight. Mark Wilson's work on engine technology had given Alliance ships greater speed and range than Vex vessels. Human pilots, with their quick thinking and creativity, outmaneuvered the Vex in battle after battle. They don't adapt, Mark explained to a group of alien engineers. They'd been the strongest for so long. They never learned to improve. Admiral Krex faced execution for his failures. Before the guards took him away, he spoke to his replacement, Admiral Jens. Don't underestimate them, Krex warned. These humans, they think differently, and now they've taught others to think like them. The Alliance launched bold attacks. 3 hegemony worlds were freed in a single week. Vex military outposts fell one after another. Each victory brought new allies and resources. But Admiral Jens was smarter than his predecessors. He began using brutal tactics, destroying entire cities to scare conquered people into submission. "We must respond to this cruelty," Lisa told the Alliance Council, but not with more destruction. The solution came from an unexpected place. A Vex ship arrived at an Alliance base with a message. Not all Vex supported the war. Some had seen how the hegemony's cruel ways were causing their empire to fall apart. "There are many of us who want peace," the Vex messenger told Lisa. "We've watched as your alliance treats freed worlds with respect, not as slaves. Some of us believe the hegemony's ways must end." This news changed everything. The alliance now had allies within the hegemony itself. "The empire is cracking from within," Jack told his friends as they met to plan their next move. Lisa looked at the star map showing Alliance territory growing larger while hegemony space shrank. "They thought conquering Earth would be easy," she said quietly. "Instead, they started their own downfall. The next phase of the war would be the most dangerous and the most important." 3 years after Earth faced invasion, the Vex hegemony was falling apart. What once seemed an unbeatable empire now fought desperately to hold onto power. Admiral Jens stood before the Hegemony Council, his uniform no longer crisp and perfect. "We have lost control of 37 systems. The rebels." "Not rebels," shouted High Commander Vox. "Call them what they are. The Alliance." The word tasted bitter in the mouths of the Vex leaders. An alliance of conquered peoples fighting back, something never seen before in their history. On the Alliance flagship Freedom, Commander Porter studied the star map. A major Vex shipyard lay before them. Without it, the hegemony could not build new warships. "All ships in position," her second-in-command reported. Porter nodded. "Begin the attack." The battle was fierce but quick. Alliance ships, using Mark Wilson's advanced engines, moved faster than the Vex could track. Dr. Rivers' weapons targeted Vex weak points. Within hours, the massive shipyard burned. Back on Earth, Lisa Wells met with an unusual visitor, a Vex diplomat named Trell, part of the growing separatist movement within the hegemony. Trell wanted peace. "More of our people question the old ways every day," Trell told Lisa. "Why conquer when we could trade? Why force obedience when we could have friendship?" Lisa listened carefully. "We don't want to destroy your people, Trell. We just want all people to be free." Meanwhile, Jack Anderson led a daring mission. Using a captured Vex scout ship, he and a small team slipped through enemy lines to reach the Vex homeworld. Their goal wasn't to attack, but to gather information and spread the truth to ordinary Vex citizens. "They don't know what their leaders have been doing," Jack told his team as they orbited the Vex planet. "They've been fed lies about us being savages. They broadcast images of peaceful Alliance worlds, of different species working together, of the destruction caused by hegemony weapons." The Vex government tried to block the transmission, but it was too late. The truth spread quickly. On the front lines, Alliance forces found something surprising. Some Vex ships no longer fired on them. Some even sent messages of surrender. The hegemony's economy began to collapse. For centuries, it had depended on resources from conquered worlds. Now those resources stopped flowing. Supply lines were cut. Vex colonies faced shortages of food and fuel. In his laboratory, Mark Wilson created his most important invention yet, a device that could disable Vex weapons without destroying their ships. "We don't need to kill them to win," he explained as he demonstrated the device. "This disrupts their energy weapons, but leaves life support intact." Commander Porter used this new technology in the next major battle. Instead of destroying Vex ships, Alliance forces disabled them, then offered rescue to the crews. "Why are you helping us?" a captured Vex officer asked Porter. "We came to conquer you." "Because that's the difference between us," Porter replied. "You came to rule. We fight to live free, and to help others do the same." On the Vex homeworld, Emperor Zol, ruler of the hegemony for 200 years, faced a crisis. His palace was surrounded not by Alliance forces, but by his own people demanding change. "The Empire is dying," his advisor warned. "We must adapt or be destroyed." Emperor Zol looked at images from across his crumbling empire. Rebellions on dozens of worlds, military defeats, economic collapse, all because one small blue planet had refused to surrender. "Prepare my ship," Zol ordered. "I will speak to these humans myself." The final confrontation was about to begin. 4 years after the Vex first appeared in Earth's skies, their once mighty empire lay broken. What began as a simple conquest had led to their downfall. The massive Vex Imperial ship entered Earth orbit under a flag of truce. For the first time in recorded history, Emperor Zol had left the Vex homeworld. In the Alliance headquarters, Lisa Wells prepared to meet the Emperor. "This is either the end of the war or a trap," she told her advisors. "Either way, we're ready," Commander Porter assured her. Emperor Zol was not what they expected. Old for a Vex, his once gray skin now pale and wrinkled, he walked slowly into the meeting chamber. His eyes, all 4 of them, showed a weariness that transcended species. "I have come to discuss terms," the Emperor said simply. The peace talks lasted for days. Representatives from all Alliance worlds attended. The terms were carefully crafted. The hegemony would end, replaced by a galactic council with equal representation for all worlds, including the Vex. "Your people will not be punished," Lisa assured Zol. "We want peace, not revenge." The Emperor studied her closely. "In 1,000 years of conquering, we never encountered a species like humans. You could have destroyed us once you gained the upper hand. Why didn't you?" Lisa's answer was simple. "Because then we would have become what we were fighting against." As news of the peace treaty spread, celebrations erupted across hundreds of worlds. Ships from all species met in space, not in battle but in friendship. Dr. Rivers worked with Vex scientists to solve problems that affected all worlds: diseases, climate change, and energy needs. "We can do more together than we ever could as enemies," he told a group of mixed-species researchers. Jack Anderson's communication system became the foundation for a galaxy-wide network, connecting all worlds and peoples. "No more secrets," he said at the launching ceremony. "No more lies between worlds." Mark Wilson's engines made travel between stars faster and safer than ever before. "Explore, don't conquer," became his team's motto as they taught all species how to build the new drives. Commander Porter oversaw the transition of military forces into a joint peacekeeping fleet. "We'll be ready if new threats appear," she promised, "but we'll never again use our strength to oppress others." Earth, once considered a primitive world, became the central hub for the new Galactic Council. The first meeting was held in the same room where humans had once desperately planned their defense against alien invaders. 4 years after the invasion, Emperor Zol made a historic announcement from that very room. "The Vex hegemony is dissolved," he declared to the watching galaxy. "In its place, we join the Galactic Council as equals, not rulers." Later, in a private moment with Lisa, the Emperor shared his true thoughts. "The greatest mistake in our history was thinking Earth would be easy to conquer," Zol admitted. "We never imagined that attacking one small planet would cause our entire empire to fall." Lisa smiled. "It wasn't just our resistance that defeated you. It was your own belief that conquest was the only way forward." As they looked out at Earth from the orbital station, Zol nodded slowly. "Perhaps the real victory is what comes next. Not an empire of fear, but an alliance of friends." A new ship launched that day, carrying representatives from a dozen worlds to spread the news of peace. Its name, painted on the hull in multiple languages, summed up everything that had happened since that first invasion day. It was called New Beginning.